Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the salvage vessel Fortune's Gambit, watching the endless sea of stars drift by. The ship's worn hull and patched systems spoke of countless missions in the dangerous frontier regions of human space. But this time was different. This time, they were breaking every regulation in the book. "Captain, we're approaching the coordinates," Lieutenant James Rodriguez called from his station, his dark eyes fixed on the navigation displays. "Threshold 9 radiation is increasing. Whatever's out here, it's big." Sarah nodded, her weathered features illuminated by the soft blue glow of the holographic displays. The restricted zone they'd entered was officially listed as a navigational hazard, a region of space where ships disappeared without trace. But Sarah knew better. She'd paid dearly for the encrypted coordinates currently guiding their ship through the void. "Engineering reports the shields are holding," Maya Patel announced from her engineering station, her fingers dancing across multiple screens. "But I don't like these energy readings. They're wrong somehow." The bridge crew of the Fortune's Gambit was small but efficient, just 4 people who'd worked together long enough to feel like family. Dr. Marcus Webb, their resident xenotechnologist, completed the team. He hadn't stopped studying his instruments since they'd entered the restricted zone. "There's definitely something artificial about these radiation patterns," Marcus said, adjusting his glasses. "They're too ordered, too structured. Almost like." His voice trailed off as the ship emerged from a dense field of stellar debris. There, suspended in the darkness like a sleeping giant, was their target. The massive vessel stretched for almost 2 kilometers, its angular hull design unlike anything in current human or alien registries. "Holy hell," Rodriguez whispered. "That's a warship, but it's not one of ours, and it's definitely not Kraken tech." Sarah leaned forward, her heart racing. The ship was ancient, its hull marked by weapons fire and cosmic debris, but it remained largely intact. More importantly, it matched the descriptions in the classified files she'd acquired, files that spoke of Project Prometheus, humanity's greatest military secret from the early days of stellar expansion. "Maya, run a full spectrum analysis. James, keep us at a safe distance. Marcus, find us a way in." The next hour was tense with anticipation as they carefully approached the derelict vessel. Maya's scans revealed that despite its age, the ship still maintained minimal power, enough to preserve its basic systems. Marcus identified what appeared to be a secondary docking bay that could accommodate their much smaller vessel. As they maneuvered into position, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The massive ship's presence seemed to press against them, like a sleeping predator aware of movement nearby. "Captain," Marcus called out suddenly, his voice tight with excitement. "I'm detecting quantum signatures consistent with advanced AI systems. If this is what I think it is." A sudden alarm cut through the bridge. "Multiple ships dropping out of FTL," Rodriguez shouted. "Kraken signatures. 3. No, 5 vessels." Sarah's blood ran cold. The Kraken, humanity's most aggressive rival species, weren't supposed to be in this sector. Their presence meant either they'd been followed, or worse, someone had leaked the coordinates. "They're charging weapons," Maya reported. "Get us into that docking bay," Sarah ordered, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. "Now." The Fortune's Gambit surged forward as the first energy bolts from the Kraken vessels lit up space around them. Rodriguez's skilled piloting kept them ahead of the worst, but a glancing hit sent tremors through the hull. As they approached the derelict's docking bay, ancient defense systems suddenly hummed to life. Warning signals flashed across their screens as massive weapon ports began to open along the mysterious vessel's hull. "Multiple energy signatures," Marcus shouted. "The ship, it's activating." The entire bridge crew watched in awe as the ancient warship stirred from its centuries-long slumber. Lights flickered across its vast hull, and its defensive systems oriented toward the approaching Kraken vessels. Sarah gripped her command chair as Rodriguez guided them into the docking bay, just as the first devastating blast from the awakened giant lit up space behind them. The Kraken vessels scattered, clearly caught off guard by this unexpected development. As their ship settled into the massive docking bay, emergency lights activated around them, revealing rows of long-dormant fighters and equipment. A deep thrumming vibration ran through the deck beneath their feet, and a voice, artificial yet somehow deeply human, echoed through their communication system. "Unknown vessel, you have entered Prometheus Protocol Alpha. State your identity and intentions." Sarah exchanged looks with her crew before responding. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Fortune's Gambit. We're here to bring you home." The AI's response sent chills down their spines. "Welcome aboard the UES Hyperion, Captain Chen. It seems we have much to discuss, and little time to do so." The Fortune's Gambit's crew stood in the vast command center of the UES Hyperion, surrounded by awakening holographic displays and pulsing energy conduits. The ship's eye, which called itself Prometheus, manifested as a shifting blue constellation of stars that hung in the air before them. "Your arrival was anticipated, though the timing is problematic," Prometheus stated, its voice resonating through the chamber. "The Hyperion systems are operating at 12% capacity. The Kraken vessels outside are attempting to breach our outer defenses." Sarah stepped forward, her boots echoing on the ancient deck plates. "How is this possible? The Hyperion was supposed to have been destroyed during the First Contact War." "Incorrect," Prometheus responded. "The Hyperion was deliberately hidden. We are humanity's contingency plan, a weapon of last resort, created for a war that never came. Until now." Marcus was moving from console to console, his eyes wide with wonder. "This technology, it's centuries ahead of anything we have. Some of these systems shouldn't even be possible." Maya's hands flew over an engineering station that had activated at her approach. "Power systems are unlike anything I've ever seen. It's like the ship can generate its own micro-singularities for energy." A sudden tremor shook the deck. Rodriguez checked a tactical display. More Kraken ships arriving. They're coordinating their attacks on the outer hull. "The Hyperion cannot sustain prolonged combat in its current state," Prometheus announced. "However, with your assistance, we can restore primary systems. A full revival protocol requires human authorization and direct interface." Sarah felt the weight of the moment. Everything about this situation screamed trap, but the alternative was death at Kraken hands. "What do you need from us?" "Dr. Webb must access the quantum core to stabilize the AI matrices. Lieutenant Rodriguez's tactical experience is needed to reactivate the weapon systems. Engineer Patel must restart the main reactor. And you, Captain Chen, must interface with the command protocols directly." Maya looked up from her station. "Captain, these power readings, if we can get the main reactor online, this ship could take on the entire Kraken fleet." Another impact rocked the ship. "Multiple hull breaches on decks 12 through 15, Prometheus reported. "Automated defenses are engaging Kraken boarding parties, but they will not hold indefinitely." Sarah squared her shoulders. "We don't have a choice. Maya, get to engineering. Marcus, find that quantum core. James, weapons control is yours. I'll handle the command protocols." As her crew moved to their assigned tasks, Sarah turned to Prometheus. "Why was this ship really hidden? What aren't you telling us?" The AI's stellar form shifted, becoming more complex. The Hyperion was built with one purpose: to ensure humanity's survival. Its technology was deemed too dangerous to risk falling into enemy hands. But more importantly, it was hidden because of what we discovered. Discovered. The Kraken are not what they appear to be, Captain. They are not the true threat. They are merely the harbingers of something far worse. The Hyperion was hidden because we found evidence of an ancient force returning to our galaxy, one that had previously wiped out countless civilizations. Warning klaxons blared through the ship. "Kraken forces have breached primary containment on Deck 8, Prometheus announced. "They are attempting to access the quantum core." Sarah's hand instinctively went to her sidearm. "Marcus is heading there now. Can you get me to the command interface?" The nearest access point is 3 decks up. But Captain, the eye's form flickered. Once you initiate the interface, there is no turning back. The revival protocol will fundamentally alter both the ship and its crew. Sarah started toward the exit. What do you mean, alter? The Hyperion's true power lies in its ability to form a neural link with its crew. The technology that makes this ship extraordinary requires a symbiotic relationship with its human operators. Your consciousness will become part of the ship's systems. Another explosion rocked the vessel. Through the command center's windows, Sarah could see Kraken energy weapons impacting the hull with increasing intensity. Will we survive the process? Unknown. The procedure was never fully tested. But without it, the Hyperion cannot reach its full potential. And without the Hyperion at full power, humanity stands no chance against what is coming. Sarah activated her comm. All hands, status report. Engineering here, Maya responded. I found the reactor controls, but the startup sequence is unlike anything I've seen. Quantum core located, Marcus called. But I got company coming. Lots of it. Weapons control online, Rodriguez reported. But we're running out of time. These Kraken ships are coordinating better than they ever have before. Sarah took a deep breath. Prometheus, take me to the interface. Whatever's coming for humanity, they're going to find out why you don't mess with Earth. As she followed the eye's guidance through the ancient corridors, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to change the course of human history, assuming they survived the next few hours. Marcus Webb pressed himself against a bulkhead as another explosion echoed through the quantum core chamber. 3 Kraken warriors had just passed his position, their biomechanical armor clicking against the deck plates. In his hands, he clutched a datapad connected to the core's diagnostic systems. Prometheus, he whispered, what am I looking at here? The AI's voice came through his earpiece. The quantum core contains the ship's higher functions. It is my heart in human terms. The Kraken must not access it. A holographic display materialized in front of Marcus, showing streams of data he barely understood. But one thing was clear. The technology was far beyond anything humanity currently possessed. These quantum signatures, he muttered, they're not just processing data. They're manipulating reality itself. Correct. The Hyperion does not simply travel through space. It can alter the fabric of space-time itself. This is why the ship was hidden. Such power in the wrong hands. In engineering, Maya Patel faced her own challenges. The reactor room was a cathedral of technology, with a pulsing sphere of contained energy at its center. These readings make no sense, she said, watching energy patterns that defied known physics. It's like the reactor is drawing power from somewhere else. The main reactor operates by harnessing energy from parallel dimensions. Prometheus explained. Engineer Patel, you must stabilize the containment field before we can initiate full power restoration. At weapons control, Rodriguez was learning just how powerful a Hyperion could be. Even at minimal power, the ship's defensive systems were holding off a dozen Kraken vessels. Captain, you need to see this. The weapons systems, they're adaptive. They're learning from each engagement, becoming more effective. Sarah Chen couldn't respond. She stood before a crystalline chamber, her mind reeling from what Prometheus had just shown her. The neural interface wasn't just a control system. It was a gateway to understanding what humanity was truly facing. The marks on your hull, she said to Prometheus, they're not from normal combat, are they? No, the damage was sustained in our encounter with them. The ones we call the precursors. The Kraken are merely their tools, uplifted and modified, to serve as scouts and shock troops. Sarah watched as the chamber began to glow. Show me. The air filled with images, vast dark ships that dwarfed even the Hyperion. Worlds turned to ash, entire civilizations erased. They hibernate for millennia, Prometheus explained, awakening to harvest advanced civilizations, absorbing their technology and knowledge before returning to sleep. Humanity's rapid technological advancement has drawn their attention. The Kraken attacks are just the beginning. A massive impact rocked the ship. Hull breach on Deck 5. Rodriguez called over the comm. They're trying to surround us. In the quantum core chamber, Marcus had finally reached the main console. I think I've got it. Quantum matrices are stabilizing. Wait. He froze. Something's wrong. These patterns, there's some kind of underlying code. Dr. Webb, Prometheus's voice had changed, becoming more urgent. What you're seeing is the precursor virus. It is how they corrupt and control other species' technology. You must not. Marcus's scream cut through the ship's communications. In engineering, Maya saw energy patterns shift dramatically. The reactors becoming unstable. Something's interfering with the containment fields. Sarah reached for the neural interface. Prometheus, what's happening? The precursors embedded their virus in the quantum core during our last battle. They knew we would eventually be found. Dr. Webb's access has triggered it. If we cannot contain it, the Hyperion will become a weapon for their use. The ship shuddered as multiple Kraken vessels opened fire simultaneously. Shields failing. Rodriguez reported, "We've got minutes at best." Sarah's hand touched the interface chamber. "How do we stop it?" "The neural link is the only way. But Captain, the virus will attempt to corrupt your mind as well. The risk. We're out of options." Sarah stepped into the chamber. "Maya, push everything you've got to containment. James, keep them off us for 2 more minutes. Marcus." She took a deep breath. "Hold on. We're coming for you." The chamber sealed around her as crystalline tendrils extended toward her body. Through the ship's sensors, she could now see everything. The Kraken fleet moving in for the kill, Marcus convulsing as the virus attempted to take control, Maya desperately working to prevent a reactor breach that would vaporize half the sector. As the neural link activated, Sarah felt the virus attack her consciousness. It showed her visions of humanity's destruction, offered her power beyond imagination, tried to break her will. But with each assault, memories of Earth, of her crew, of everything humanity had built gave her strength. "You don't understand us," she thought as her mind merged with the Hyperion systems. "Humanity doesn't break. We adapt. We overcome. And we never fight alone." Throughout the ship, systems began to change as Sarah's consciousness spread through them, her human intuition merging with Prometheus's digital precision. The virus tried to corrupt their union, but it hadn't counted on something uniquely human, the ability to evolve, to turn weakness into strength. In the quantum core, Marcus felt the virus's grip weaken as new code, born from the merger of human and AI, rewrote the precursor's work. In engineering, Maya watched in awe as the reactor stabilized, its power now flowing with organic precision. The Hyperion's hull began to pulse with new energy as Sarah opened her eyes inside the chamber, her consciousness now expanded beyond human limits. "Now," she said, her voice resonating through every deck, "let's show them what humanity can really do." The Hyperion came alive with power that defied conventional physics. Sarah Chen's consciousness flowed through the ship's systems, merged with Prometheus in a symphony of human intuition and machine precision. Through the vessel's sensors, she perceived space in ways no human had before, seeing the quantum threads that bound reality together. Multiple Kraken vessels approaching from Vector 7, Rodriguez reported, his hands dancing across the weapons console that now seemed to anticipate his commands. "They're charging something big." "I see them," Sarah responded, her voice echoing with harmonic undertones. "Maya, how's the reactor holding?" In engineering, Maya watched in amazement as the reactor's energy patterns shifted like a living thing. "It's incredible. The power output is beyond anything in our records, but it's perfectly stable. Whatever you and Prometheus did, it worked." Marcus had recovered from his encounter with the virus, his mind now linked to the quantum core in a less direct, but equally profound way. "The virus wasn't just trying to corrupt us," he said, studying streams of data that now made perfect sense to him. "It was trying to prevent this merger. The precursors, They fear this kind of adaptation. Through the ship's external cameras, they watched as the Kraken fleet formed an attack pattern. Energy began building in their combined weapons arrays, forming a deadly web of destructive power. They're attempting to initiate a cascade overload, Prometheus announced, its presence now intertwined with Sarah's consciousness. This is a precursor tactic designed to eliminate threats to their control. Sarah felt the ship's systems respond to her thoughts. The Hyperion's hull began to ripple as new configurations emerged. Transformations that should have been impossible for a vessel this size. Let them try. The Kraken fleet unleashed their combined firepower, a lance of energy that could have split a planet. But as it approached the Hyperion, something extraordinary happened. The space around the ship seemed to fold, the energy attack twisting and dispersing into harmless radiation. By all the stars, Maya whispered, we're not just deflecting their attack, we're rewriting the laws of physics around us. Not rewriting, Marcus corrected, understanding flowing through his enhanced consciousness. We're revealing the true nature of space-time. The precursors didn't want anyone else to discover this. Rodriguez grinned as new tactical options appeared before him. Weapons are fully online, and these aren't like anything I've ever seen. The Hyperion was designed to be humanity's shield, Prometheus explained through their shared neural network. But it needed human creativity, human adaptability to reach its full potential. Captain Chen, shall we show them what we've become? Sarah felt power surge through the ship's systems. The Hyperion's hull continued to transform, revealing weapon ports that operated on principles beyond conventional science. Target their command ship. Let's give them a demonstration. The Hyperion's response was devastating. A pulse of energy emerged from multiple points along its hull, converging into a beam that didn't so much destroy the Kraken command ship as temporarily remove the space it occupied from reality. When the energy dissipated, there was nothing left but scattered atoms. The remaining Kraken vessels began to retreat, their coordinated attack pattern dissolving into chaos. But Sarah could sense something through the ship's enhanced detection systems, a dark presence at the edge of known space, watching. They're coming, she announced. The precursors. They know what we've achieved here. Through their neural link, Prometheus shared data that had been locked away for centuries. Images of massive vessels emerging from the void between galaxies, of civilizations falling before an enemy that saw them as nothing but resources to be harvested. How long do we have? Rodriguez asked. Days, perhaps, Marcus answered, reading the quantum signatures. They'll want to eliminate us before we can share this technology with the rest of humanity. Maya's voice came through the ship's comm system. The reactors operating beyond theoretical limits. Whatever these upgrades are, they're still spreading throughout the ship. We're becoming something new. Sarah felt the truth of those words. The Hyperion wasn't just a warship anymore. It was becoming a testament to humanity's potential, a fusion of human spirit and advanced technology that the precursors had never anticipated. Plot a course for Earth, she commanded. We need to warn the fleet, prepare them for what's coming. And we need to show them what humanity is truly capable of. The Hyperion's engines hummed with power as its systems continued to evolve. In the space where the Kraken command ship had been, reality itself seemed to ripple, as if the universe was adjusting to the emergence of something unprecedented, a force born from humanity's greatest strengths, ready to challenge beings that had dominated the cosmos for millions of years. They thought they could control us, Sarah said, feeling the ship respond to her will. They thought they understood what humanity was. They're about to learn how wrong they were. Earth's orbital defense grid lit up as three massive precursor vessels emerged from fold space, their dark hulls absorbing light like cosmic predators. Behind them, a swarm of converted Kraken ships moved into attack formation. The combined human fleet, nearly 1,000 ships strong, looked tiny in comparison. But between Earth and the approaching armada, the Hyperion stood ready. Sarah Chen, her consciousness now permanently linked with both ship and AI, watched the enemy approach through senses that transcended normal human perception. The Hyperion had continued to evolve during their journey home, its hull now shimmering with energy patterns that defied conventional physics. "The Earth Defense Council is demanding we fall back," Rodriguez reported from his weapons station, now a hybrid interface of human and advanced technology. "They're saying we can't take on that fleet alone." Through their shared neural network, Sarah felt Prometheus's amusement. "They don't understand what we've become." Maya's voice came through their linked consciousness, reactors operating at full capacity. "The new quantum matrices are stable. Whatever the precursors throw at us, we can take it." Marcus, his mind connected to the ship's enhanced sensors, studied the approaching vessels. "They're trying to analyze our modifications. They still think this is about technology." He smiled. "They really don't understand humans at all." The lead precursor vessel transmitted a message, not in words, but in pure data designed to overwhelm and dominate lesser systems. Through their merged consciousness, Sarah and Prometheus translated it easily. "Subianite, you kianot hugo mpre and our power. We have harvested civilizations for millions of years. You are no thing." Sarah let her human laugh echo through space. "You've spent millions of years taking from others. We spent our time learning to build, to grow, to become more than we were. Let us show you the difference." The Hyperion's hull rippled as it activated its full array of evolved weapons. The ship was no longer bound by ordinary physical laws. It had become a manifestation of humanity's potential, guided by human creativity and determination. The precursor fleet opened fire, their combined energy weapons powerful enough to shatter planets. But where their attacks struck, reality itself seemed to bend around the Hyperion, their power absorbed and transformed. "Now," Sarah commanded, "show them what humanity can do." The Hyperion's response was beyond anything its original designers could have imagined. Quantum weapons merged with human intuition, targeted not just the enemy ships, but the underlying fabric of space-time they manipulated. Where the precursors had learned to exploit the universe's laws, humanity had learned to work with them. The first precursor vessel shattered as its own manipulated space collapsed. The second found its advanced systems turned against it by weapons guided by human creativity rather than cold calculation. The third, recognizing a power it had never encountered in millions of years of conquest, attempted to retreat. "The Kraken ships are breaking formation," Rodriguez reported with satisfaction. "Their control systems are failing." Maya's enhanced consciousness tracked the power flowing through the Hyperion. "The precursor's hold over them is breaking. They're waking up." Through their quantum sensors, they watched as the Kraken vessels stopped their attack. Centuries of precursor control were unraveling as they witnessed something they had thought impossible: their masters being defeated. The final precursor vessel, its retreat cut off by weapons it couldn't comprehend, transmitted one last message. "How? You are young. Primitive. You should not be capable of this." Sarah let her response flow through the ship's communications, her words carried by technology that had evolved beyond its creator's dreams. "You spent millions of years taking from others. We learned to grow, to adapt, to become more than we were. While you stagnated in your perfection, we embraced change. That's humanity's true strength." The last precursor ship disappeared in a cascade of quantum energy, its ancient systems unable to cope with weapons born from the merger of human spirit and advanced technology. As the Kraken fleet hung motionless in space, their crews freed from centuries of control, the Earth Defense Council finally found their voice. "Hyperion, what are you?" Sarah felt her crew's pride through their shared connection. The ship had become more than a weapon. It was a symbol of humanity's potential, a testament to what they could achieve when they faced the impossible with courage and creativity. "We are humanity's shield," she answered, her voice carrying the harmonics of both human and AI. "We are what happens when you underestimate the human spirit. and were just the beginning. The Hyperion's hull shimmered with evolving energy patterns as the sun rose over Earth. In the depths of space, the light of a new dawn spread across the stars, not just for humanity, but for all species who had lived under the shadow of the precursors. The age of harvest was over. The age of growth had begun. And somewhere in the vast darkness between galaxies, other precursor ships received the signal of their brethren's defeat. For the first time in millions of years, they felt something alien to their perfect, unchanging existence: fear.